Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Make your lawn a legacy. At Legacy Lawn and Landscapes, we put more than 16 years of experience into your goals. We won't meet your expectations, we'll exceed them. We offer consultation, installation, maintenance, hardscapes, construction, and land clearing services. Owner John and Jamie Brewer, with their team, are dedicated to providing the highest quality landscape services to commercial and residential clients in Middle Tennessee. Service, teamwork, results. That's how you leave a legacy.
Hey, I'm Peyton Bowie, the children's pastor at Mars Hill Baptist Church, and it's crazy to think that summer is just around the corner. If you're like me and you're already planning what you're going to be doing and where you're going to be going for the summer, go ahead and put Vacation Bible School at Mars Hill down on your calendar. June the 9th through the 12th from 9 a.m. to noon for any kids 4 years old all the way through 5th grade. This year, our theme is True North, where we're going to be looking at all that God has created to help us really understand and discover who God is and how amazing He is and what it means to have a relationship with Jesus. So come join us June 9th through the 12th at Mars Hill Baptist Church from 9 a.m. to noon, kids 4 years old all the way through 5th grade. We can't wait to see you there.
LUS is committed to our customers, from providing and maintaining energy-efficient utility services to friendly, helpful customer service. LUS is there. At LUS, we're always challenging everything we know, every day. We strive to improve efficiency and reliability while focusing on our responsibility to our customers and the community. It's our promise to provide dependable service to our customers every time. Because we don't just work in Lawrence County, we live here too.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome back into this Monday edition of the SEC Tailgate here on the X Sports Network. I'm Michael Marks alongside Hayden Burks. And Hayden, we have a lot of college baseball to go over this weekend as the College World Series has been going on. And we'll start off with those games that happened Friday. Coastal Carolina took down Arizona 7-4 in the first game Friday afternoon. That was the 1 o'clock game. So we kind of talked about a little bit about that one, Hayden, since it was going on during the show. But I mean, Coastal Carolina put up 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, took the lead 7-4, and never really looked back.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like you said, they won that one 7-4. They had a scare there in the top of the 5th inning or 6th inning. Arizona ended up taking the lead. I think they ended up taking the lead 4-3 over Coastal Carolina. You thought maybe the tides would have turned there, but Coastal Carolina obviously showing, you know, they're the dominant team right now, probably the hottest team in all of the World Series right now, as they ended up beating Oregon State for their 25th straight consecutive win throughout the season so far, or excuse me, just their 24th consecutive win. So, like I said, Coastal Carolina's doing really good right now. Arkansas, I know on the screen says that the game started at 1 o'clock, but right now the game's going on between Arkansas and Murray State. I can't remember what inning they're in, but I know Arkansas is winning 3-0.
In the 7th last I checked, and it was it's 3-0.
Yeah,
so.
after that, because I remember they had a shot that was roped down the third base line that scored a run, and then another one that right fielder for Murray State couldn't get a hold of it there. So that game's going still live right now. But then again, like you said, a lot to go over this past weekend.
Yeah, for Coastal Carolina, starting on the mound for them, they actually pitched off and went with Eichhoff there for game 1. He went 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, a really good outing for him. And then Flukie actually got the credit for the win. You got to go 5 innings as a starter to get the win. 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs. You know, he having a really good year. He has a 3.3 ERA. And Kromkowski had a pretty good start for Arizona going, but Hicks out of the bullpen. A bit of a rough time, so Pluto wasn't really able to get everything going for for Arizona in that closer position. But man, I mean, Bodine, the leadoff guy for Coastal Carolina, has been huge this season for him. You got 3 hits from Barthol, your second baseman, so just a really, really good win on Friday for Oregon or for Coastal Carolina. And then we'll move to Game 2 from Friday. I mean, probably you wouldn't think a game with 7 runs in it would be very exciting, but probably the most exciting game we've had so far between Louisville and Oregon State. That one, again, the Friday night game. Not a lot to talk about. Again, just really exciting ninth inning. Oregon State came into the ninth up 3-1, Hayden, and then Louisville went on a bit of a hit parade, got a leadoff triple. There were some fielding errors for Oregon State. Louisville tied it up, and then you had the top of the lineup up for Oregon State. Ava Arquette, their shortstop, got a hit. I believe it was a double, it was a single. And then Turley, the left fielder, sent one down the line. Arquette with that 6-5 frame, able to get home in time, and then a 4-3 win for the Beavers to set up a good game on Sunday. We'll go to Saturday now. UCLA against Murray State. UCLA put up a couple runs early. We're up 6-0, really out of the gate. Not a very good start for Murray State starting pitcher, but UCLA kind of went up with a little bit of a bullpen game, Hayden, pitching a ton of arms. Their starter only went 4 2/3. But again, throwing 6 arms in your first game, but nobody threw out of the bullpen more than 20 pitches. So again, UCLA set up really good. They have a game tonight against LSU. We'll get to that one in a little bit. And then that heavyweight matchup we were hyping up all day, it kind of lived up to it. I mean, for a 4-1 game, it had some excitement in it. It made every hit feel huge. But usually, Hayden, we had seen LSU or Arkansas be able to kind of capitalize off pitching that hasn't been as well as of late. But Cade Anderson, man, went in there 7 innings, only 3 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, 100 pitches. I mean, he was awesome. And then Evans coming in to close it, only giving up 1 hit. What was interesting, though, Hayden, for Arkansas, Zach Root only went 1 2/3 inning, giving up 3 runs, and only threw 40 pitches in that game. So he isn't necessarily burnt for more than, I'd say, a day or two. But one thing that may hurt Arkansas, Gackle, their number 1 relief guy, went 6 innings and threw 90 pitches. So I'm not sure how long that will burn him up for. But Arkansas definitely needing to get a win today against Murray State to kind of advance in that losers bracket. And then we'll go to Sunday. We had the 1-0 game, this is the elimination game in the top bracket. Louisville over Arizona 8-3, just a really good outing from Louisville. They actually got a win from their closer who went 4 innings. A little bit of a weird pitching lineup in that one. And then again, Arizona it wasn't a terrible outing from their starter. It was just some bench problems. 4 of those 8 runs unearned in that one. So a bit of a rough day for Arizona's defense, and Louisville, it's just one of those teams that makes you pay. If you let them get on the bases, they like to run.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like you say, we kind of went over the recap of every game. I'll start with the Louisville and Arizona game. Louisville is just one of those teams that can capitalize on errors. We saw it in that Oregon State walk-off game in the top of the ninth. Like you said, they were down 3-1 going into the ninth inning. Gave Oregon State scared there. Had some errors for Oregon State. We saw the catcher that was trying to back up the first baseman when the shortstop overthrew it, and then the catcher literally lost the ball on the windup. I've never seen that. I've never seen that before. But then again, like you said, ended up going 3-3, and then Oregon State with that leadoff triple had the go-ahead walk-off there at the end with that double there from Oregon State. So another walk-off for the College World Series. It's just kind of one of those things where you kind of expect one of the first games of the week to have a walk-off, it seems like. But, like you said, UCLA, just a lot of stories to go from. UCLA, a different pitching, a unique pitching way to throw a game from their bullpen. And you looked at how they played against Murray State, absolutely just dominated Murray State. And we'll get back to that primetime game that we all were hyping up with Arkansas, LSU. And, man, I told AJ earlier, I said, for all the questions we had about LSU, about their pitching, boy, they answered the call. And Anderson, he really stepped up for LSU, and now all they got to do is beat UCLA and try to win that winners bracket, and they're right back to the College World Series championship game where they won the World Series in 2023. So, like I said, still a lot to go from. Louisville knocked out Arizona. They'll be taking on the winner of this game. No, they'll be taking on the winner.
They play.
They'll take on Oregon State again. That's right. They'll take Oregon State on again. The winner of that will go play Coastal Carolina in the winners bracket championship game, whatever you want to call it. Then again, Arkansas, like I said, still 3-0. I think I got it right here. And then the game tonight, UCLA, LSU. Really eager to see what UCLA does more than anything. LSU, obviously, they're after beating Arkansas in that game, kind of convincingly beat them towards the end there, and only allowing them to make certain hits. We've seen that runs are a premium so far within this World Series. Base runners are huge, being able to steal stolen base attempts and successful stolen bases like Louisville's been able to do so far throughout their entire season too. So I'm really concerned, or not concerned, but eager to see what this nightcap game tonight between UCLA and LSU looks like.
Yeah, again, and then the one game I missed was the 1-0 bracket game from Sunday. Coastal Carolina took down Oregon State 6-2, and again, like you said, Hayden, a 25-game win streak. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, they really run through everybody. Haven't lost back-to-back games since almost March. I mean, a really good pitching performance from Jacob Morrison, probably the best one we've seen in Omaha so far. Went five hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, 110 pitches. I mean, his ERA is a 1.82 right now, and he's 12-0 on the year. And the kid wasn't an All-American and from some outlets, which I just find unbelievable. I mean, you can say that maybe the competition that you faced throughout the year weren't up to the level of some of those SEC or ACC guys, but man, 12-0 with a 1.8 ERA, that doesn't come easy. But just a very good game from Coastal Carolina. They got jumped on them 3 runs in the first inning off that big hit from Thornsyke, the first baseman, and really, I mean, just jumped on them. They were up 6-1 after 5 innings, and really just didn't let Oregon State get anything going with their offense. But yeah, I mean, a really good game so far. I mean, none of them have been, snooze fest. I mean, you can say maybe the UCLA Murray State game was, because it was 6-0 really before you could blink. But Murray State fought back late in that one to make it look at least a little interesting in the box score. And then the LSU Arkansas game. I mean, after that bad second inning from Root for Arkansas, I mean, it was just throwing up zeros to everybody. I mean, Cade Anderson gave up that solo home run to Robinette, but other than that, I mean, it was 2 pitchers. Anderson and Gack were just absolutely shoving. It was a great game to watch if you love pitching. And then the Louisville-Arizona game, again, nothing really going with Arizona. Louisville just playing solid baseball, and they're advancing to play Oregon State, who again dropped the game to Coastal Carolina on Sunday night. But we got some games going on right now, and some later tonight, and then maybe some projected games for Tuesday that we'll talk about coming up next here on the SEC Tailgate.
Jack Davis Insurance, located at 201 West Gain Street in Lawrenceburg, has you covered through life's obstacles. Jack Davis specializes in group insurance for businesses and institutions of all sizes. With coverage for life, accidents, cancer, critical illness, short-term disability, dental, and vision, Jack Davis can customize a plan to meet every need. Now available Medicare plans for seniors. Contact Paige Davis at 931-492-9284 today for Medicare supplements Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and prescription drug plan insurance. Serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1987, call the team at Jack Davis Insurance today at 931-242-5225.
Since 1955, Evers Construction has been the company folks have trusted for residential and commercial construction projects. Today, Evers is still the leader in building and is just as committed to maintaining. From residential to commercial and industrial, Evers' team of experts stands ready to install, service, and repair all your HVAC and plumbing needs. Specializing in leak repair, maintenance, air duct cleaning and repair, air handler service, drain cleaning, gas line work, emergency unit repair, inspections, and more. Evers Construction offers a preventative maintenance package to keep your home or business cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Trained, trusted, reliable. For more information or to schedule an appointment with the pros who know, phone 931-762-3593 or visit eversconstructionco.com. Evers Construction Company in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Good Works at Home, formerly known as the Summit at Home, is a licensed non-skilled agency dedicated to helping you maintain your independence at home for as long as possible. Our compassionate and caring staff provide support in various areas, including dressing, bathing, personal hygiene, transportation, cleaning, and companionship. Please call our office about services, payment options, and long-term care policies at 931-762-2310. We look forward to assisting you with keeping your independence longer.
Let me tell you about a place that has it all for your home, bedroom, kitchen, lawn, and more. It's a home-owned and home-operated business that's been around for over 70 years, so you know they're doing something right. At Swap and Shop Center in Lawrenceburg, you'll find top name brands for every room of your house, and top brands for the outside too. Looking for appliances, televisions, couches, safes, bedding, mowers, and well, the list goes on. So make the drive today to 824 North Military Avenue in Lawrenceburg and be treated right.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
All right, welcome back to SEC Tailgate. Michael Marks, Hayden, Burks, and Hayden. We got some games going on today. Live right now, Arkansas, Murray State Arkansas up 3-0 in the bottom of the eighth. All right, but Gage Wood went 7 1/3 without allowing a base runner until he hit Decker just a moment ago. But I mean, Wood probably has now the best performance. I mean, he could probably give up a run or two and still have that best performance.
Yeah, I was literally
just 7 innings, 14 strikeouts, no hits, no walks, nothing. I mean, just that hit by pitch just a moment ago. But and then Silva for Murray State went 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and he was just as good. But two pitchers that work in different ways, Hayden. Arkansas Wood, he's heavy fastball, and it looked good today, 96, 97, some good run on it. And Silva's more of that sinker ball pitcher that's going to try to get a lot of ground balls. And Murray State did a really good job not letting Arkansas get on the board early, other than that lone run in the 3rd. But that little bit of a rally in the 7th did cause some problems. But now 2 down in the inning. But Murray State got a base runner on, so that's a start. But only a couple more outs to work with as they trail Arkansas 3-0. I was going to have us pick that game, Hayden, but it's gone by so fast that the whole thing's almost over. But I'm pretty sure we would have both gone Arkansas on that one.
I mean, crazier things have happened in baseball. Obviously, they got 2 on, 1 out right now. They're at their 7th man in the lineup for Murray State, so in the bottom they'll be getting to the top of the lineup, so that's good, more than likely, if they can get this guy on here. But like you said, for 14 strikeouts, not having anybody get on just till now, pretty impressive. But you got to look at the Murray State pitcher as well. They said he likes, like you said, the slider and the sinker too. Likes them to chase some balls in the dirt. But then again, both this has been a pitcher's game so far between the two of them, and we've had a bunch of duels on the mound between a bunch of teams. You look at UCLA and Murray State the other day. That was one of those games. Oregon State and Louisville down the stretch was one of those type of games. So it's really fun to watch, and I'm always excited for this time of year when it comes to Omaha.
Yeah, and I don't know, Hayden, if you were able to see the early goings of this game, but the Murray State pitcher switched his cleats after the first inning. I don't know if you saw that, but he was wearing white cleats to start the game, and then him and I believe it was the I don't know if it was the right fielder Mercer or their left fielder, or maybe even their third baseman. I don't remember, but it was somebody. He switched cleats with them after the first inning, and he's done this all year. And he switched from white cleats to black cleats between the first two innings. So I just thought that was a little bit interesting as we'll go into this game tonight. LSU, UCLA, Hayden, probably the two best teams, or the two best looking teams other than Coastal Carolina here in Omaha, and rightfully so, playing in this 1-0 game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. With UCLA and LSU, like we said, we had a bunch of question marks about LSU, where they would be after kind of being a little teeter-tottering on where they're going to be when it comes to seeding based off of that. In the Super Regionals, almost losing to Little Rock. Ended up winning that series, though, getting to Omaha once again. We knew they were a good team within the season, as that was a strikeout there from Arkansas, it looks like. So going to the top of the ninth now, but getting sidetracked. But anyways, you kind of look at the overall play between both teams, between UCLA and LSU. Probably two teams are playing at their best right now, not including Coastal Carolina, who's on the other side of the bracket here at Omaha. But you just kind of look at it from LSU standpoint, being able to come back, having that really good game with, like we said, Anderson playing the way he did through 7 innings against Arkansas. Arkansas really couldn't get any base runners going, or get anything offensively going at all either. Then you look at UCLA, probably playing the least talented team. I hate to say that. Murray State, probably they are the Cinderella story, but beating them with ease and then trying to make their way. I mean, really, if you win this game, we've talked about winning game one. Always game one is the most important when it comes to being in Omaha. But you look at that, and you look at this game right here between these two teams. This would be huge for UCLA to win this game, because not only that team will have to beat you twice, but you're in the catbird seat to try to get to the World Series. I'm not sure how long it's been since the UCLA's been to the World Series, if not ever been to the World Series.
I would say they went to the final in 2009 when they had Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer in their pitching rotation, but lost to an LSU team who they're playing tonight. So we got a rematch of the 2009 pardon, it was South Carolina they faced, not LSU. But again, another SEC team. But I mean, just an incredible game we'll have tonight. And again, I think that this game is probably bigger for UCLA to win, just knowing what LSU's talent looks like. And me personally, I want to get another LSU-Arkansas rematch if we can. And if we can get one of those, coming up whenever that loser's bracket game would be, it'll definitely be entertaining. And then we'll move to Tuesday's game. So Louisville and Oregon State, that's an elimination game. Again, Oregon State won their first matchup 4-3, but I think Louisville's going to come back with a little bit of a vengeance after the way they beat Arizona on Sunday. Again, both those teams going to be on their third pitcher now, and it's a winner go home game right there. And then the last game on Tuesday will be the winner of this Arkansas-Murray State game versus the loser of LSU-UCLA. And again, that's going to be a big game. Hopefully we can get Arkansas-LSU again. I'd love to see that matchup played out again with the teams a little lower on the totem pole when it comes to pitching. But we'll go through. Hayden, who is your pick for the UCLA-LSU game tonight? Who are you going to go with?
Oh, man, it's hard to go against LSU, but I just got a feeling that it's something about UCLA right now. I'm not going to say they're going to make the finals, but the way they're playing sneaky good right now, and I think if they can, see how their pitching goes tonight after that odd way of their pitching against Murray State, maybe they're saving up some guys for tonight. We'll see how it goes, but I got a feeling about UCLA, so I'm going to go with my gut and pick UCLA.
And I'm going to play devil's advocate right here and go with LSU. Anthony Ionson's probably the best number 2 pitcher in the nation. Really good fastball, really good changeup. He can work it against both lefties and righties. So, I mean, he's going to be a tough out. But, again, UCLA's offense has looked pretty good. They put up 6 runs in their first game here in Omaha, and now and then again just looked really good all the way through their regional. Louisville and Oregon State Tuesday. That will be the 1:00 game, I believe, since it is the top bracket.
Yeah, it's the 1:00
again,
game.
But again, Oregon State, Louisville. Louisville lost the first one 4-3. Hayden, who you going with on this one?
I'm going to go with Louisville this time because obviously they'll flip-flop with that. Louisville will be in the bottom lineup, so that's going to be good for them. Like I said, I think if their pitching can come out the way they have, Oregon State, they're just sneaky good, but then again, they do have their hiccups. Obviously we saw it late in the game, and I know Louisville, they're going to be playing with a little bit of vengeance. And like you said, it's an elimination game between these two. Winner go home, and the winner will get Coastal Carolina. So give me Louisville. Give me Louisville.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with you right there on Louisville, just because of the way the game ended on Friday. Oregon State looked really, really good most of the game, and then there at the end, I mean, just some of the plays they made looked like they were trying to give it to Louisville, and then Louisville just kind of gave it back away in the bottom of the ninth. But I think Louisville's going to come back a little vengeance tonight, and we'll see them take on Coastal Carolina there on Tuesday, or I believe that game will be on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Yeah,
and then the winner of that one will go on.
I think
to
that
the
game is at 7:00
final.
too. So.
All right, so we'll jump into a little bit of transfer portal talk because that is all that's going on today in college baseball. We saw today Tennessee relief pitcher Dylan Moy entered the portal. Again, Tennessee fans, that's kind of a tough pill to swallow. He had the most appearances out of the bullpen for anybody on Tennessee's roster. But again, he wants to go somewhere and be a starter. He probably wasn't going to get that opportunity at Tennessee. So best of luck to Dylan Moy and wherever he goes. But the SEC has made a bunch of good signings. I mean, Vanderbilt got Max Jensen, a corner infielder from Cornell. That signing back in May. And then Jacob Faulkner from Princeton, also back in May. So Vandy making sure they're getting those Ivy League kids down there in Nashville.
Yeah.
Florida Atlantic had a couple of guys go to A&M. Tennessee has already gotten Brady Frederick from East Tennessee State, the relief pitcher. Bo Rudy from Kennesaw State. Also, Matt Barr and Mason Estrada, another handful of pitchers. Estrada from MIT, and then Matt Barr from SUNY Niagara. Those guys are projected top 100 picks, so we'll probably never
who's
see
the catcher
them.
they got from Bowling Green? I saw that they
Oh,
got,
yeah. I'll get to him in a second. But yeah, a couple of guys from Tennessee, and then Clay Edmondson from UNC Asheville. That's another name. He committed back in May. But my guess is that Estrada and Edmondson, you'll probably never see them suit up in the orange and white, sadly, just because of their draft positions. But again, there's always the chance that they decide to withhold from the draft and come to school. Texas has gotten an infielder from Wichita State. South Carolina has gone on a haul. They have 6 guys signed already, a handful of pitchers, a shortstop, first baseman. They actually got some interconference trading right here. They got Phil Plott, the right-handed pitcher from Florida, and then Eric Parker, the backup shortstop there at Georgia. Oklahoma picked up some guys. Mississippi State got a big haul. Some of those guys from Virginia with Brian O'Connor coming to Mississippi State. Again, there's a bunch of names, a bunch of very good names still in the portal. One that I would keep your eye on for really anybody in the SEC is would be Henry Ford, Henry Ford, the outfielder from Virginia. He is one of the best bats, probably the best player in the portal right now. Came from Virginia, visited Tennessee last weekend, so I would say really any SEC team has a good shot to get him. And then we'll see what else we got right here. Yeah, just a bunch of very, very good players still uncommitted. Again, the portal's open until July 1st, so you got plenty of time for some of these guys to hop in here. And then, again, Tennessee picked up a big one today out of the portal with Garrett Wright. Batted .406 last year, was the only guy in the MAC with a 400 or above batting average. Was the only guy with above 500 on base percentage, had 48 RBIs, and was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. So Tennessee going to have a little bit of a catcher battle coming up in the fall. I would assume you get Cannon Peoples back. You still have Stone Lawless, and now you got this guy, and then Levi Clark, who is your DH this year. Maybe making a move to first base. Who knows? We'll see that when it unfolds here in the fall. And when we get back, we're going to give a little bit of a greater view on Oklahoma and Texas in their first year in the SEC here on the SEC Tailgate.
For the best meal from south of the border, head to Cocina Real and Puente Grande for lunch and dinner. With a wide array of mouth-watering entrees, there's something for everyone on the menu. And you can't forget the cheese dip. They'll treat you like family, and you'll never leave hungry. Make Cocina Real Mexican Restaurant and Puente Grande Mexican Restaurant your choice for authentic cuisine, located in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Want to take the next steps in taking care of your health? Tennessee Valley Allergy Services can make your goals a reality. Their team of doctors, nurses, and medical professionals are dedicated to providing allergy care and treatment, such as drops and shots, to fit your exact needs. Their expert services are for anyone ages 2 and older. Whether you struggle with environmental or food allergies, they've got you covered. Discover a better you at Tennessee Valley Allergy Services, located right next to the Zaxby's in Lawrenceburg. Book online or call 931-325-0757 to schedule your appointment today.
At Florida Mid-South Realty, we pride ourselves on our family values, professional service, and a deep local knowledge. With a small town feel and a personal touch, we're here to help you navigate the real estate process with ease. Whether buying, selling, or renting, you can trust us to guide you every step of the way. And don't forget to catch Florida Rockstars, our live podcast every Tuesday morning at 8. Florida Rockstars, rocking the real estate news and all things local. Florida Mid-South Realty, your hometown real estate experts.
The storm doesn't ask. It takes. It tests. It pushes everything to its limit. Some things are built different. Some things are built to last. Tested by the elements. Proven by time. Engineered for whatever comes next. Summertown Metals. Strength in every storm. Building dreams that last.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
All right, and welcome back to the last segment here of the Monday edition of SEC Tailgate. Michael Marks alongside Hayden Burks. And Hayden, we had a couple of new teams enter the conference around this time last year. Oklahoma and Texas have now spent their first full academic calendar year in the SEC, and we'll just go over some of their records and how they ended up. Texas in volleyball, we'll start with volleyball. They went 20-7, made it to the Sweet 16, finished ranked number 11th in the country, and went 13-3 in conference play. Oklahoma 15-11, made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament, finished the season unranked, and were 8-8 in conference play. Now we'll move to football. Texas 13-3, made it to the college football playoff, made it to the Final Four. They finished number 4 in the last AP poll and went 7-1 in conference, and then lost in the SEC championship game to Georgia. Oklahoma, not as glamorous of a year, 6-7, lost in the Armed Forces Bowl to Navy 21-20. Finished the year unranked and went 2-6 in conference play. Now on to women's soccer. Texas actually had a pretty good year, 17-4-2. Lost in the round of 32. Finished the season ranked 21st. Went 6-3-1 in conference play, but actually did win the SEC tournament. So they were SEC tournament champions their first year in the conference. Oklahoma 10-7-1, did not make the postseason. Finished unranked, obviously, and then went 3-6-1 in conference play. Men's basketball, 19-16 record for Texas. Made it to the first 4 in the NCAA tournament where they were beat by Xavier. Finished season unranked, 6-12 in conference play. Oklahoma 20-14, eliminated in the first round of the NCAA tournament by UConn. Finished unranked and also 6-12 in conference play. And women's basketball now for Texas, 35-4, made it to the Final Four. Were finished number 4 in the AP poll, Were 15-1 in conference play. Kind of just ran into a red hot South Carolina team a couple too many times. It kept them from an SEC championship, a national championship appearance, and then a perfect conference record. For Oklahoma, the Lady Sooners 27-8 on the year, lost in the Sweet 16, finished the season number 11, and then were 11-5 in conference play. So two very good women's basketball teams joining the conference. Now on to baseball. Texas was 44-14 this year. Lost in the regional, finished number 4 in the D1 baseball polls. Those will be updated again after the Men's College World Series finalizes. So they'll probably be somewhere in the 17 range just because they didn't make it to the Super Regional. 22-8 in conference. We're actually regular season champions of the SEC. Oklahoma, 38-22, lost in the regional. They were in the North Carolina regional. Finished season unranked and were 14-16 in conference play. So not a bad year for the Sooners. And then softball, you know what you're getting with Texas and Oklahoma. Texas went 56-12, national champs, number 1 in the country, 16-8 in conference play this year. Again, very, very good. And then you look at Oklahoma. Well, they went 52-9. They made it to the Women's College World Series semifinals. They were number 3 in the country last ranking. 17-7 in conference play, and co-SEC champions with Texas A&M. After that, rain out in the SEC championship game. But I mean, really good year for Texas and Oklahoma's first year here in the SEC.
Yeah, absolutely. Between the two, obviously Texas has the better resume for their first season in the SEC. But then again, overall, the two teams had a really good start since joining the SEC. And a lot of good things come. Obviously, we know that each sport is different. Football is going to be a good team next year with Manning starting for the Longhorns. Oklahoma having a new quarterback this upcoming year. You look at volleyball, Oklahoma, the Big 12, in my opinion, is primarily the best conference when it comes to volleyball. In the past, when it had Texas and all that, but now with Texas joining the SEC, there's a case for the SEC now being the best conference when it comes to volleyball. Then again, the Big Ten as well. So I mean, it's more competitive there for sure now between the 3 conferences. But you look at basketball with Texas, making it to the semifinals in March Madness, getting put out by South Carolina. And then you look at Oklahoma, had a little struggle when it comes to women's basketball, and like I said, it's just one of those growing pains when joining the SEC, you're playing better competition, better athletes. But then again, both teams fairly shared really good. And then going into the spring sports, with baseball being the number 1 within the regular season for the SEC, and then Oklahoma having a bit of a struggle. But then again, we know what they are in softball as well. So with Texas putting out Tennessee, Oklahoma losing to Texas Tech in the semifinals, then Texas winning it all. So I'd say, grading it from my standpoint, I'd say it's probably a solid A+ for sure. Between the two teams, Texas probably carrying more of that load between the two of them, but definitely A for an A- for I probably won't give them that much. I'll say a B+ for Oklahoma and an A+ for Texas.
Yeah, and same exact answers here. A+ for Texas. I mean, their first year in the conference, 2 national championships and 8 SEC titles. I mean, that's no joke. The SEC. We talk about how hard it is. Texas, for them to be able to come in. They had some rough years in football and basketball in maybe the past 5 years, but they seem to have gotten those sports kind of nailed down and are really competitive. Oklahoma, again, didn't do as well, but they were kind of on the decline there at the end of their Big 12 days. So the fact that they were able to get a national championship and 2 SEC titles says a lot, because that one national championship did come in gymnastics, which the SEC is kind of known for almost as well as their gymnastics have been the past couple of years. So I would have to give them an A+ for Texas, a B+ for Oklahoma, just kind of based on the trajectory of their programs coming into this first year. If you remember Texas A&M, their first year in the conference, 2012, they beat Alabama in football with the Johnny Manziel thing, the madness, and then Missouri actually represented the East in the SEC championship game 2 years in a row following that, 2013 and 2014. So maybe we'll see some more action out of Oklahoma and Texas in year 2. But again, a very good first year here in the SEC. And one last little note, we'll give a shout out today. JP Peace today committed to Tennessee. He is a outside linebacker, tight end out Knoxville West, but is actually the grandson of former Tennessee head coach and athletic director Philip Fulmer. So, congrats to him. I just know that, kind of that whole your grandfather was the coach of Tennessee that got him the national championship back in '98, and maybe your grandson wants to come through Knoxville and try to win one. So big congratulations to him. He's a class of 27, so we'll be another couple years before we see him suit up in the orange and white. But Hayden, that'll do it for today. That's all we got for you today here on the SEC Tailgate. We'll be back Wednesday.
Arkansas just won. Yeah.
Oh, Arkansas.
Okay,
yeah, final score, Arkansas 3-0, and then, this may be the greatest pitching game I've ever seen in college.
19
for Gage
for
Wood.
9
innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, 19 strikeouts on 119 pitches. I mean, that's
the greatest pitching performance in College World Series history.
It probably is. That's the third no-hitter I know for sure in Omaha. So just absolutely insane stuff for Gage Wood. And Arkansas, plus for them only having to use one pitcher. And they will face the loser of the LSU-UCLA game tomorrow. So we're getting interesting out here in Omaha, Hayden.
Yep. It's almost championship time.
Oh, man. All right. And was a hit by pitch away from a perfect game. But we'll be back Wednesday for more news here on the SEC Tailgate. I'm Michael Marks, Hayden Burks. We will see you Wednesday.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.